had a briefing for section 1 and section 4. So I'm using this recording to share between section 1, section 4, section 2 and section 3. Section 5, 6, 7 and section 1 of SKAB, I've already shared apa nama dia punya presentation, okay, briefing. So again, back to the pool of lecturers ataupun the panel of lecturers that will be guiding you in IDP 1 would be Dr. Mushairi, okay, Dr. Tarmizi, Dr. Iza will be on costing and estimating, and finally Dr. Erwan Hafizi, which will be guiding and supervising work on water reticulation. So what happens is that in section 2 and section 3, for example, for each class, yeah, you will be combining. Okay, you will be combining both the classes will be combined. Mana dia punya arrow ni? Okay. Both classes will be having similar periods for IDP 1. So for section 2 and section 3, okay, next Sunday between 11 to 1, okay, for both sections, section 2 and section 3, Dr. Mushairi will be coming in to give a lecture on earthwork. So both sections will be following the same lecture. This is what I've meant earlier, that we've combined two sections. Two sections, because there are too many sections. We have 8 sections. We don't have enough tenaga pengajar, enough staff to distribute ataupun the number of staffs for each section. Mana dia punya ni? Tak boleh. Okay. So because of that, maka we have a shortage. Bukan shortage lah. We are quite handicapped in the number of lecturers that can teach the subjects. So what we do is we combine two sections into one similar lecture time, so that by next week, katakan Dr. Mushairi will be lecturing, he will be lecturing both section 2 and 3 for the same lecture. And Dr. Mushairi dan juga all the rest of the lecturers in section 2 and section 3 will be supervising your work throughout the whole semester and evaluating your work throughout the whole semester. We'll come to that later on. Okay. So what happened is that by next week, everybody will attend the classes as indicated in this timetable. So it will be on week number 2 and week number 3. Bear in mind, for week number 3, on the 3rd of April, if I'm not mistaken, will be the first day of Ramadan. And usually on the first day of Ramadan for Johor, it would be a public holiday. And if that happens on the 3rd of April, on week number 3, then all lectures on Sunday, on the 3rd of April, would be replaced by the following Sunday, on week number 4. So please take note, if the 1st of Ramadan falls on the 3rd of April, then all the related lectures for all sections, for all sections, not only section 2 and 3, but for the whole 8 different sections, will then be rescheduled kepada Sunday on the 10th of April. So that is my first concern, is that there will be a shift of lectures. If the 1st of Ramadan falls on the 3rd of April, then all lectures will be replaced by the following Sunday, which is on the 10th of April. So please be aware, please take note. On the week number 3, we might have a cancellation of classes on Sunday, on the 3rd of April, because of the first day of Ramadan, which is a public holiday in Johor, similar to what we had just yesterday, which is a public holiday for Johor for the birthday of the Sultan of Johor. So everything, no lectures, except yesterday I still had lectures for briefing for section 1 and section 4. Okay, because if I miss that briefing, then I need to use week number 2, and therefore for section 1 and 4, everything will shift to maybe week number 4. Yeah. So anyway, just please be aware on the 3rd of April, there might be a public holiday because of our 1st of Ramadan. And due to that, if the 1st of Ramadan falls on the 3rd of April, then expect that the lectures to be cancelled and to be rescheduled kepada on the 10th of April. That will be my first note. Okay. The second note is that if we look at the timetable di sini, there are important dates indicated here, which is digital poster submission dan juga the final report submission. Okay, what happens is that hopefully by early next week, we will be releasing a list of groupings for section 2 and section 3. In fact, all the groups for all the 8 sections will be dividing for each section into smaller groups, maybe between 9 to 10 students, depending on the number of students per section. So you would be expected to be allocated into a certain group. The groupings will be I will share the groupings with your class representatives, and the class representatives can then share the groupings of section 2 and section 3 with their respective sections. So what happens is that IDP is carried out on a basis of group work, even though the evaluation later on, I will briefly talk on the evaluation. There is a part of evaluation where individual group members would be evaluated, but 70% of the evaluation would come from your group work secara berkumpulan. So we would be releasing the names of grouping insyaAllah by early next week ataupun by end of next week, sometime next week, okay, week number 2. But it doesn't matter, you can still go to attend the lectures without concern of the grouping yet, because work will only start when all the lectures have finished. Okay, for example, in this timetable, that means your work will start somewhere in week number 4. Definitely week number 5, you are now in full swing of your work. So the grouping, even though you don't have the grouping in week number 2 and week number 3, okay, it will not stop you from attending the lectures. Everyone has to attend all lectures, all students, irrespective of whether the grouping has been released or not. You still need to attend all the 4 different topics, mainly earthwork. Kita ada one topic on earthwork, and then we have one topic on erosion, okay, one topic on water supply, which is termed as water reticulation. So this water reticulation is actually the design of a water supply for a given site, okay. And finally, we have the estimation, costing and estimation module, okay. So briefly, you have 4 different topics in IDP 1. When you move up kepada IDP 2, the group that has been you have been assigned to in IDP 1 will be maintained in IDP 2. So your group members and the grouping itself will be maintained throughout IDP 1 dan juga IDP 2. So you will have to get to know each other, yeah, quite well, because you're going to, it's a long term punya long term punya relationship lah in a group, okay, because you're together in one group doing IDP 1, and the same group will be maintained doing your IDP 2, moving into the 4th year punya syllabus, yeah. So IDP 1 and IDP 2 is a group project, and the group is maintained for both modules. IDP 1 and IDP 2 will be done by the same group, kumpulan yang sama. So in IDP 1, you are tasked to tackle 4 problems ataupun 4 parameters ataupun 4 scope of work, which is earthwork, erosion, costing and estimating, dan juga water supply. Moving kepada IDP 2 later on nanti, you will be tasked with 5 different modules, which will include road design, drainage design, sewerage design, okay, basic infrastructure design, kemudian you will have RC design dan juga geotechnical design. So that will be the next IDP. In IDP 2, you will be tasked with 5 different modules. All in all, you will be covering around 9 different modules from IDP 1 dan juga IDP 2 combined. Alright? And IDP ini, IDP 1 and IDP 2 is basically designed so that this is the subject where you integrate your knowledge. Maybe earlier you have gone through hydraulics, for example. In hydraulics, there is a topic maybe flow in pipes. Okay, flow in pipes. So you have all the theoretical understanding of flow in pipes, of the Bernoulli equation, dan sebagainya. Now you're going to use that theory, that information, that knowledge, and apply dalam IDP 1 in terms of application of that theory in water supply. Okay, you have a background knowledge on flow in pipes in hydraulics, for example. You will be using that knowledge to apply in IDP 1 dalam topik water supply, water reticulation. So this is what IDP is all about. It is using your knowledge that you have achieved separately, secara berasingan, okay, and then combining this knowledge and applying the knowledge to project, okay, to a single project where you need to fall back ataupun to refer to your knowledge that you have come across earlier. Contohnya macam earthwork. I think in your survey subject dan juga survey camp, you have come across the topic of earthwork, right? Okay, so you're going to use that knowledge that you have achieved dalam survey and survey camp and apply that into IDP 1, in which you need to design an earthwork design, to propose an earthwork design. Basically, you are providing ataupun you are suggesting certain levels for the whole site, and from that levels, you will proceed with cut and fill. Okay, based on the levels that you have produced, then the next stage would be to evaluate the amount of earth that has to be cut and the amount of earth that has to be filled. Okay, based on the proposed level. So you are coming into the area ataupun the zone where your basic knowledge is now used to apply to real time, real problems related kepada civil engineering. Okay, we are looking at realistic problems. Okay, so each group will comprise around 9 to 10 students. Okay, secara idealnya it will be about 10 students. Tapi it depends lah. If your section number 2 kata ada exactly 40 students, itu mudah. I will just divide that into 4 groups. Tapi kalau ada 45 students, then maybe 5 groups with 9 students each. So it depends on the number of students per section. Then we will divide and form the groups according to the number of students for that particular section, right? Any questions so far? Right? So anyway, so that is how we are going to conduct the IDP. You will be divided into smaller groups of maybe 9 to 10 students per group. And from that group, once the group has been formalized, then you will then tackle all the 4 topics, okay, in IDP 1 for the same group. Jadi, out of the 10 students, you will then assign a number of students doing erosion, a number of students doing earthwork, a number of students doing costing and estimating, dan juga a number of students doing water reticulation, to be divided equally among your group members. So I would suggest, if katakan ada 10 members, 10 members in a group, I would suggest that for earthwork, you put in more resources di situ, because dalam your scope, which is these 4 topics, erosion, costing, dan juga water reticulation, cannot start the design of erosion, the design of costing, the design of water reticulation cannot proceed unless there are levels, proposed levels for the site. So you need to put in more resources pada earthwork so that the work can be done earlier, you can finish up your levels earlier, and from the level then the erosion, the costing and estimating and water reticulation can proceed. So it is very important that you tackle earthwork dulu. Okay? Tackle earthwork dulu with more number of resources. Katakan 4 students doing earthwork and 2 students doing erosion, another 2 students doing costing, and another 2 students doing water reticulation. But for earthwork, assign lebih. Maybe 4 students. Even more pun tak apa. Because you need to finish up earthwork early. And when you have come up with certain levels, that levels will then be used by the erosion group. The costing and estimating will come with an estimated cost based on earthwork sahaja. So the costing and estimating ni is directly related kepada earthwork. Okay? So the costing and estimating is now directly related kepada earthwork, meaning the costing and estimating ni is trying to get the cost of the earthwork only. Walaupun in actual practice, costing and estimating ni semua. Okay? The road punya costing, drainage, sewerage, water supply, everything is within the scope of costing and estimating. Tapi for IDP 1, just to give the experience pada pelajar, we are assigning costing and estimating to do costing and estimating regarding earthwork only. So you are very closely related kepada earthwork. Whatever levels and whatever cut and fill that they have produced, you will then evaluate the cost and the cost of the work untuk earthwork. And similarly for water reticulation, you will need the levels that is proposed dalam earthwork to start your design. So it is, you can see the dependency that all the other 3 topics is now depending on earthwork. Okay? So earthwork has to work quickly and efficiently and accurately to come up with a proposed level for the site. Now the site might be something macam inilah. Contohnya lah, just an example. Okay? This is an example of a site that has been given kepada your previous seniors. Okay? It is somewhere in Pulai Spring, I think. Somewhere di Pulai Spring. So what I'm showing di sini ialah a combination of 2 drawing sebenarnya. The first drawing is actually just the topographic punya drawings that shows the initial ataupun the site before any development, sebelum ada pembangunan. What is the topography condition of the site? Okay. Ada tak any lakes ataupun any small waterway ataupun river dalam site? So that is the topography ataupun the actual site condition before development, sebelum pembangunan. And another drawing is showing the proposed development. So di sini what we see here is an overlapping of the proposed development together with the topographical map. So it's a bit confusing, tapi tak apa, this is just to show an example. Okay? An example of what to expect. So you will be given, each group will be given the same drawing, the same site, the same drawing. Satu drawing on topography sahaja, another drawing on the proposed development. So sebenarnya drawing yang sama, cuma kita tutup layers lah. We close the layers and we save it as a topography punya layer. Kemudian satu lagi development punya layer. Okay. So this is to help you understand the existing condition of the site sebelum pembangunan, prior to development. What are the site features yang ada dalam tu? Okay. What are the natural topography dia? What are the natural levels of the site before development? And the next drawing is the proposed development. So based on these 2 drawings, then you will come up with a proposed level for the overall site. And once that is done, then kumpulan, as I've said earlier, okay, the group doing the erosion, the costing, dan juga the water reticulation will then proceed once they have the levels. So it is very crucial that the earthwork, you have more resources pada earthwork tu, supaya you have more group members concentrating on earthwork. You need to get the levels out as quickly as possible. Therefore, put in more resources, put in more group members ke dalam tajuk earthwork. Maybe 4 students do ataupun 4 group members doing that. Yeah? And then the rest, I think you need a maximum of 2 numbers saja for erosion design and costing dan juga water reticulation. So that is just to give a basic idea of what to expect dalam IDP 1. Pertama sekali, you will be assigned into smaller groups between 9 to 10 students. Okay, and each group will be given a set of drawings, and from that drawings you will then be tackling the 4 topics that I've listed down here. And out of these 4 topics, the crucial topic would be the earthwork topic, because selagi belum ada proposed levels for the whole site, then the 3 other topics cannot move on. Tak boleh nak start. They can't start their 3 topics, the other 3 topics. So they will be very dependent on the levels that will be produced dalam earthwork punya section. So that is just to highlight the importance and the dependency between the different groups, within the different subgroups within each individual group. Alright, any question yang tak jelas? So, back kepada tarikh ni, these dates. On the 12th of May, January, February, March, April, May. Itulah, dah 5 May. On the 12th of May, you will then be submitting what is termed sebagai a poster submission. Now remember, you have 4 different topics. So we would be expecting 1 poster each from each topic. There will be 1 poster on erosion, 1 poster on earthwork, 1 poster on costing, and another 1 poster on water supply. Okay, so dalam poster ni, it will indicate secara konsep what has been done and what is going to be done. Contoh, I'll share di sini. This is one poster produced by again your seniors, okay, last semester I think. IDP 2 ni is only offered in semester number 2. Okay, bukan last semester is semester 1. The semester sebelum tu. Okay, IDP 1 is only offered in the second semester of every academic year. So this is one example of a poster by one group, which is group number 4. Okay, these are the group members, and if we look at the group members, there are actually 10 group members. Okay, 10 group members, and how the work distribution is divided among the 10 group members. Okay, is shown dalam sini, is shown here. For example, the work distribution for poster number 1. Poster number 1, this is the first poster indicating the group name, company name, the group profile. Kemudian you have your group members, and then you have your distribution of work. Contohnya, for estimating, 2 group members are the person in charge. For what is this? Water reticulation, another 2 group members doing water reticulation. Another 2 group members, Brandon dengan Amir, taking the erosion punya design. And finally, for the earthwork, you have 4 different group members, Hanifah, Azizi, Nashrul, Adli. So there are 4 group members concentrating on earthwork. And this is what I said, more resources pada earthwork, because earthwork punya results is very crucial. The rest will depend a lot on the earthwork punya levels, right? So that is why I would suggest, if there are 10 group members, then you can allocate, katakan 4 group members doing earthwork saja, so that they can come up with the results as soon and as quickly as possible. Okay, and then this is the work schedule, menunjukkan their planning for the whole of the semester, right? This is the poster by the Department of Earthwork. Ini Earthwork punya poster. Okay. It indicates dia punya proposed level, even though there is no calculation lagi at this stage. Okay. They are proposing certain levels. Tapi these levels ada cara dia, how to obtain these levels. Nanti dalam Earthwork punya topik, Dr. Mushairi will elaborate how someone can propose a level. How do we propose a level from zero? Daripada kosong, tak ada level apa-apa. Then it comes to these levels. How did these numbers come about? Macam mana boleh dapat 40 sini, 35 sini, 31, 29, okay? How do we come up? How does one group come up with a certain proposed level? Ada cara-cara dia. Okay? One important aspect in Earthwork is site inventory. So yang ini menunjukkan what the group has done in their site inventory. Okay? Dan kemudian followed by estimation. Okay? Department of Estimation. Okay? So ini poster by the estimation highlighting the machineries that will be used, okay, and the unit rate that will be used for costing the earthwork. Okay. Erosion and Sedimentation Control Plan, ESCP. This is the poster by ESCP. Tak boleh kecil lagi dah. Besar boleh. Kecil dah tak. Okay. So this is the poster by ESCP and it indicates the proposed erosion control measures, antaranya check dam, okay, kemudian silk fencing dan juga wash road dan akhir sekali rainwater harvesting. So this is on the erosion and sedimentation control punya poster. And finally, we have the water reticulation punya poster. The table indicates the estimated amount of water demand, the requirement of water demand for the whole site. Berapa banyak air yang diperlukan. And from that amount of water demand, then we can work out the storage of the water tank and the location of the water tank and the height of the water tank. So these are all the parameters that can be highlighted in your poster. Okay? So this is one poster from the your seniors, group number 4, indicating altogether ada 5 poster. One poster is for the group members and the distribution of work and the group profile. And then one poster on earthwork, one poster on erosion, one poster on water supply, dan satu lagi poster on estimating. So this is what I mean by poster submission. This is the example of the posters that have been produced by your seniors. Okay, I think they've graduated dah pun, I think. Okay. Back kepada yang ini, okay, our timetable. And there is one, this is the important timeline, okay, important milestone that every group member has to keep in mind. That is on the 12th of May, 12th of April, you need to submit your poster and all submission, sama ada poster ataupun final report submission, will be through e-learning. We will open up a link, okay, each lecturer ataupun each coordinator dalam section will open up and will create a link dalam e-learning, and that is where you put up ataupun you submit your poster, that is where you submit your final report dan sebagainya. Right? So these are the two important dates. On the 30th of June, which is the last day of this semester, okay, week number 15, you will be required to hand over ataupun hand in your final report submission. And at the same time, we will be doing a presentation where each member would present dia punya work, okay, the work for the whole semester kepada panel of lecturers secara online. Okay, secara online. That is one option. Another option is that students will record their recordings, okay, on what they have done for the whole semester, and then upload the recordings to be evaluated by the respective lecturers. So there are two two methods of evaluation untuk individual performance. Satu is by interview session, and another one is by pre-recorded uploading of your presentation. We haven't yet decided nak pakai yang mana. Last semester, it was a pre-recorded presentation. So each student will record their presentation, and their presentation ni ada dua, major and minor. Remember, I've said earlier, okay, contohnya for section number 2, okay, certain group, katakan group number 1, you have 10 students, maka 2 students doing erosion. Okay, 2 student doing erosion ni bermakna they are majoring in erosion. Major dia erosion because they actually do the design work for erosion. So they are doing their major in erosion. But still, the 2 students yang doing erosion will need to be able to explain in the fundamentals involved in earthwork, in costing, dan juga in water supply. So meaning, the 3 other topics will be the minor presentation, whereas erosion will be the major work, and followed by minor work ataupun minor presentation covering all the other 3 topics. So all in all, each student will have 1 major and 3 minors. And you need to understand everything. Bermakna, of course, major you're doing that design. Minor, even you're not doing earthwork design, but you need to understand how earthwork design is carried out, apa masalah yang timbul, what are the problems associated with earthwork, and how do you solve the problem. So it means that each group member ni, walaupun you are concentrating on a certain topic out of these 4 topics, but you still need to be conversant with all the other 3 topics, so that your focus will be on your major, whereas the remaining three topics will form your minor. So that is dari segi presentation dan juga dari segi interview later on. So the dates will be on the 30th of June, the last day of June, and this falls on a Thursday, hari Khamis, 30 hari bulan 6. And 12 hari bulan 5 ni is your poster submission. Remember, we have our Eid Mubarak Raya somewhere in your mid-semester break, dalam mid-semester break. Okay. After your mid-semester break, balik lecture will start again after Raya. So the first week after your mid-semester break is actually your submission for your poster. Okay. The first Thursday after Raya. First Thursday selepas Raya will be your poster submission, and this will be on the 12th of May. January, February, March, April. 12th of April. Okay. Bulan 5. Mei lah kan? Kalau bulan 5. 12th of May. And then on the 30th of June is your final submission. The report, okay, remember, 2 students doing erosion, meaning that these students not only do the poster, tetapi juga dia punya final report on erosion. So another 4 group members doing earthwork. So you will prepare a report on earthwork sahaja. Another 2 students doing costing. So these 2 students will then prepare a report on costing. Dan finally on water supply, another 2 students doing water supply. Maka they will produce the water supply punya report. And finally the ketua kumpulan, head of the group, will then compile all the 4 different topics into a single report and upload the report dalam e-learning. Right? So that is the direction we are going. Okay? The group leader will play a role to collect all the 4 different design work, compile into a single file, and then upload into e-learning to represent your group work. Okay? Kerja secara berkumpulan. And then that will be evaluated. Jadi contohnya Dr. Musyairi will evaluate your report on earthwork sahaja. Dr. Tarmizi will evaluate on erosion sahaja. And subsequently, Dr. Izzah dan juga Dr. Erwan Hafiz will evaluate the report based on bukan costing. Water supply, ialah costing dan juga costing ni secara separately, respectively. So each lecturer yang mengajar, I'm teaching earthwork. So for section number 1, when they submit the report, all the earthwork components will be evaluated by saya. Okay, we'll have a look at this later on dari segi dia punya markah, the format that we're going to use for evaluation. Any questions so far? Ada soalan apa-apa? Remember, it's a group work, okay, secara berkumpulan. There is no final quiz, no final exam, there is no exam, tak ada quiz. Evaluation at the end of the semester. Okay. So this is the timeline, jadual kuliah, and this is the borang markah. Okay. Borang markah ni is the evaluation form that we'll be using for IDP 1. Okay. On the left hand side ni is the list of students. Okay. The name list. Mana? Okay, so sebelah sini will be the students punya details, nama dia. And then notice that the evaluation is carried out. Sekejap, mana dia? Saya notik. Okay, it's carried out. The first thing is the poster presentation. Now this will contribute 10% of your group work, ni secara kumpulan. So if you have, katakan you submitted your poster, and your poster again will be evaluated by, saya akan evaluate on the earthwork, Dr. Tarmizi will evaluate on erosion, Dr. Zainab will evaluate on the water supply, water reticulation, dan juga apa lagi satu topik, estimating and costing and estimating, Dr. Izzah will evaluate. So we will tally up all the 4 different topics and take the average. So that will be markah yang sama, similar marks for all the 10 group members. Katakan you dapat sini 8/10, which means all group members will get the same marks, 8/10 for poster, for example, for poster. Okay, so the first stage of evaluation is the poster evaluation. This will be the first stage. Second stage, second stage would comprise of 2 perkara, which is the final report and individual interview. So the final report would contribute the biggest, okay, which is 60%, 60% of your IDP marks will come from your report. So I would suggest that each group member in a particular group concentrate betul-betul. If you're assigned to do earthwork, concentrate betul-betul on the earthwork design so that you get the highest marks. Yeah, the highest marks. Apa yang kita buat ialah, contohnya line, line. Ni laser pointer. Okay. Contohnya markah dia macam mana nak isi? Pencil tu. Okay. Contohnya for report ni untuk earthwork dapat fairly good lah. Very good ni over 25 over 25. 25 markah. Mana dia punya analytic pemadam. Control design. Okay. Tak padam lah. Tak hilang. Eraser. Clear all annotations. Okay. Clear lah. Tak apa. Okay. So what happens is that uh, your evaluation will come in uh, stage 1 poster, kemudian stage 2 ada 2 stage lah, will comprise of your individual presentation dan juga your final report. So final report dulu. Final report katalah untuk us work over 25 lah, sebab 4 tajuk saja. So that total of all 4 will get you 100. Untuk us work dapat 22 over 25 contoh. Tapi for erosion hanya dapat 15 per 25 dan water reticulation katalah dapat 20 over 15 20 over 25 and finally costing and estimating pun dapat tinggi 23. So total up all this kita ada 3 campur 2 5 okay? 5 15 campur 2 20 15 campur 2 17 campur 20 17 37 37 plus 20 ini plus 13 yang ini apa ni 23 sorry 23 plus 22 is 45 45 plus 20 65 65 plus 15 75. So your total di sini adalah jumlah dia 75 over 80 over 100 sorry over 80 pula over 100. Now from this 75 we will then extract 60%, 60% will be taken out. Okay? So daripada the 75 di sini kita akan dapatkan ataupun multiply by 60%. Okay? 75 times 60 dapatlah 40 plus. So that 40 plus will then come di sini. Yeah? 40 plus ni will come over here. All the marks will be similar to all group members. So your marks for individual report over 25 would then be total up, tallied up. And from this total, we will extract 60% times 0.6. And this will be the marks for everyone based on the report. Dan perhatikan kalau satu kumpulan SELECT katakan dapat rendah, if one group only achieve very low marks, it will pull down all the rest. Yang lain pun will be affected because kita akan total everything up and from this total we will then ambil 60% to represent your report, 60 marks to represent your report. So if one group is unable to produce a good report, then the overall performance of the whole group will be pulled down, akan ditarik, markah akan menjadi rendah. Your marks will be quite low. So please be aware that each group member help other group members. Kalau ada satu group ni contohnya erosion ni jam, sekejap start. So the rest of your group members please give a hand dan cuba bantu grupnya erosion supaya it will produce a good report. Because if it produces a good report, then everyone benefit. Semua dapat markah tinggi. Tapi kalau one subgroup ni dapat markah rendah, then the opposite would occur. The marks for the whole group will then be reduced. Okay? So this is the mechanism yang kita gunakan untuk evaluation of IDP. One is the poster. Kemudian we have the final report. And finally, kita ada presentation ataupun pembentangan. Okay? Secara live interview where you have major dengan minor. Lecturers akan tanya, what have you done for your major punya work? So maybe you kata, sir, my major work is the water supply. Okay, so you will ask all questions pertaining to water supply dan juga akan bertanya, what about earthwork What about ESCP? What about estimating? You need to explain apa dia that you understand. Okay. So all in all, you have to be good, excellent dalam satu main topic, tetapi well conversant in the other three topics dalam minor. So even though it is a minor, you need to understand ataupun to defend ataupun to highlight what you have done ataupun what your group members have done for the other remaining three topics. Yeah. So itu yang dimaksudkan major dengan minor. And finally, we add up everything. This contribute 30%. Yang ini pula 60% group report. And finally, our poster will contribute another 10%. 10%. So we will add up all this for group markah kumpulan yang sama. You is under poster presentation dan juga final report. Final report evaluation is a group punya evaluation. So markah dia, the marks will be similar to all group members for your final report dan juga for your poster. But only difference is that for one-on-one interview, online interview, then this component would be your different component. It is on an individual basis. So this will be on individual basis. Markah dia over 30. So all in all, you will have 100%. Okay? Any question? Boleh faham ke? Can you understand the briefing? Can you make sense of the briefing? Yeah? Okay. So any questions so far? Tak ada. Benjamin kata okay. Faham? Okay. So Li Yuan pun okay. Tan Jiang, you have raised a hand. Siapa dia ni? Tan Jiang ni?
No, sorry, Doctor. Accidentally press it. No problem.
Okay. Alright. Okay. So if any one of you ada any comments ataupun questions ataupun you need me to repeat certain explanation, just interrupt saya. Sir, I have something to say. Just interrupt. You can unmute yourself. Yeah, because everyone is muted sekarang ni. You can just unmute yourself and interrupt saya and I'll say okay. I'll stop sekejap. Okay, what seems to be the problem? Then kita akan discuss. Kalau ada, or you can just raise up your hand. Okay? Like apa yang dah buat ni, you can raise your hand. And from there, I will stop my presentation sekejap. And then kita look at what is the problem related to Renia. Yeah? Okay. If that is the case, kemudian I'll continue my sharing. Okay. Again, saya akan share yang ini. Okay, this is the evaluation. And from this evaluation, itulah, I think that is the main component that I would like to share dengan each group, the briefing. And also satu, okay, I've showed this yesterday, and mana dia ni? SKAB. This IDP brief. Okay. Okay, I'm sharing yang ini sekarang ni. Okay. Mana dia ni? Saya tak biasa dengan Webex ni. I'm more more conversant menggunakan Zoom. Okay. Tapi Zoom has a limited capacity of about 100 students saja. So that is why I'm using Webex. Yeah? But I would rather prefer to use Zoom sebab saya lebih familiar menggunakan Zoom. My lectures in RC2, I'm using Zoom. Okay? Because for fourth year, I'm teaching RC2. Okay? And IDP 1 for third year students. Okay? So what I've showed yesterday was something like this. And this is, I'll share this later on with your group representatives, and your group reps will then be able to distribute all within the group members within that particular section. It's just a simple write-up on the basic idea of integrated design project. Okay. To promote design education for students and to reduce the burden on students caused by multiple short-term projects. So maybe you have banyak subjek and each subject has ada dia punya project. So it is a short project, tapi in IDP ni kita release all the short projects and kita concentrate on the bigger project. In this is the long term punya IDP. Students working in groups are given a proposed development project where all key elements has to be addressed, such as site planning, earthwork, sediment. Ini semua sekali IDP 1 and IDP 2. Okay? So you will see that for the same site, you will be given in IDP 1, you will carry the same site and the same group members kepada IDP 2, and you will tackle different components. IDP 2 will be on road design, sewerage, water supply, and drainage. So all this, all in all, finally at the end of your IDP 2, it means for that particular project, you have covered all the infrastructure. Water supply dah ada, sewerage dah ada, earthwork dah ada, road design dah ada. Okay? At the end of IDP 2. So it covers the whole components of infrastructure design. In addition to that, ada juga costing and estimating. Ada juga RC design dan ada juga geotechnical. Ini sampingan ni. Tapi the main component will be the infra. Your earthwork, your erosion, your road, drainage, sewerage, water supply. These are your main components of earthwork, of infrastructure concentrated on a single project, on a similar project throughout dua IDP. IDP 1 and IDP 2. So it is a continuation. In fact, when you move up pada IDP 2, when you are going to design katakan drainage and sewerage, okay, these two topics are again very dependent on the levels because these are gravity punya control. It is drainage, sewerage, water supply. It depends on a gravity flow. Gravity flow bermakna it has to be two different levels, higher level kepada lower level. So again, you will be using the levels that you are working in IDP 1. You are working to obtain levels in IDP 1. These levels will then be reused again in IDP 2. Akan digunakan balik. So there is a continuation. There is an integration between components in IDP 1 dengan components that you will be tackling in IDP 2. There is a direct link between IDP 1 dengan IDP 2, especially on the levels. Okay? Especially on the levels. So it is a very, your earthwork levels ni is a very important and crucial component because it affects not only your current design dalam IDP 1, but it will have an impact later on in your IDP 2. So there is this synergy between IDP 1 dengan IDP 2 based on your earthwork levels, right? So this is what I shared dengan. So this is an example. Again, this is a smaller site compared macam site yang tadi. Okay, saya I like this site lah. I particularly like this site because it is a site, a proposed development within a development yang dah sedia ada. Existing development dah ada. There is existing development outside of the proposed development. Beyond the site ni, there are already existing development. So when we have this sort of situation, then it makes proposing a level much easier and more less problematic because we already have existing road kat luar ni. So the road connecting the existing road dengan the new road, of course, it will be at the same level. So from there kita dah ada level of the road at the junction where the new road, it will be connecting kepada the existing road. Because the existing road has already a certain level. Takkan kita nak guna a different level pula from the existing level. Of course, we will be using the same level. And then gradually mungkin naik ataupun gradually turun later on. Mungkin at this junction, it will be at the same level, but then maybe slowly dia go up around this boulevard ni, ataupun slowly going down. Itu secondary. Tapi our first instance will be, we already have a starting point, a starting level dah ada di sini. Okay, we already have a starting level kat situ. So that is why I like this particular site, because it is compounded, dikelilingi oleh existing development. Dah ada pun jalan, there are existing roads compounding the site. So we can make use of all this information untuk come up with a proposed level. So coming up with a proposed level, one of the most important source of coming up with a proposed level is to look at existing development around the site. If there is lah, kalau ada. That will be our benchmark on how we can propose a level for the new site. Okay, so this is and again part of your apa nama IDP nantilah. Okay, dan in IDP we are training students sebenarnya to be apa nama, to be able to justify ataupun clarify whatever decision is made in your project. Contoh, for example, in water supply. Okay, in water supply, you have decided in your group, katakan, okay, let's decide that the water tank to be located di sini, the position of the water tank. Okay, now someone will then ask, okay, maybe your lecturers ke ataupun your evaluators akan tanya, okay, group number 1, you have selected your water tank to be at this location. So is there any rationale in selecting your water tank to be located di situ? We will be asking that sort of questions. Okay, in your interview session, we will be asking that sort of question. So the reply from your group will then determine how responsive ataupun how elaborate is your design. Contohnya, kalau group ni kata, sir, we have selected this location primarily because pada location ni level dia paling tinggi. The earthwork level has proposed at this particular position, the level is the highest level within the whole site. And naturally, for water supply, from the water tank kepada all individual components, sama ada residential ataupun shop houses, yang warna biru ni shop houses sebenarnya. Okay, the rest are residentials. The flow of water from water tank kepada all the components within the site is by gravity flow, and that is the primary reason why water tank is located at the highest point. If you answer macam itu, then we would say you really understand. IDP ni has been able to train you to give a justification based on facts, based on engineering facts. But on the other hand, if you say, kita tanya, why have you selected? And you say, kata, sir, we have selected ni because when we discuss with other group, dia pun letak di sini. With the 2 or 3 other groups locating their water tank similar position di sini. So might as well kita kata, we put the same position lah, sama dengan group lain. Okay, so you are making a decision based on decision that another group has made, that you don't have anything to justify. The only thing you can say is that because kumpulan lain pun using that point to put your water tank, so this group pun ikut sama. That is the justification that can be termed sebagai a failure. Okay? A failure that you cannot justify, you cannot defend your proposal tu secara secara ni lah, secara engineering wise. Okay, so you cannot say exactly why have you located your water tank this situ, because being engineers later on, you are expected to give explanation. The client would expect you, the client would ask you, Mr. Engineer, Mr. Consultant, why have you selected this zone, okay, zone sini, to be the highest zone and the rest to be lower zone, zone yang lebih rendah, levels lower. And then you know, this sort of question, the client can easily ask the engineers. And you are expected to give an explanation that is based on facts and based on engineering judgment. So what IDP is trying to do is to train students so that when they are asked any question, when they make a decision, certain engineering decision, that engineering decision is based on certain engineering assumptions that are valid assumptions. Okay, not just because why have you selected water tank sini? Because lecturer kata pilih di sini. Even if you say that, lecturers advise us to select this point as our water tank. Even if you say that, kita kata you fail juga. Because that is not good enough. If the lecturer says, put your water tank here, then you should ask the lecturer, sir, why are you suggesting to put our water tank here? And let the lecturer explain. And then when the lecturer has explained, you have understood the problem, then if anyone asks pun, you can explain as what the lecturer has explained. Macam what kita go through macam tadi. Similarly, when you're doing your sewerage later on nanti in IDP 2, you will be you need to locate your sewerage treatment plant, STP. That is the collection of all the raw sewage that comes out from the toilet punya pipes, okay, will be bukan drain from the toilets, will be collected and finally bawa kepada sewerage treatment plant to be treated. And where would our sewerage treatment plant be located logically? Anyone? For sewerage treatment plant, where would you suggest to be located? Kalau tadi water tank, highest point, because gravity flow supply air. Kalau sewerage, from all the components nak bawa pergi kepada satu point. So that point has to be the lowest point. Okay, so sewerage treatment plant, you locate di sini, katalah. And when someone asks, why have you located your STP di sini? Because it is the lowest level. And being the lowest level, it means the sewage from all, even the furthest points ini, can be transferred kepada sini because the treatment plant is at the lowest, so the sewage can flow on a gravity flow basis from the furthest point pun, point yang paling jauh dalam site pun, can be distributed kepada our STP. That is the sort of response that IDP is trying to promote. Kita nak supaya the students can give that sort of response. Hopefully by the end of IDP 1, at the end of IDP 2, each student, when they make, ataupun each group, when they make certain assumptions, certain engineering decisions, then those decisions and assumptions are based on engineering punya knowledge, okay? Based on engineering punya assumptions, based on workable punya solutions dan sebagainya. It's not just based on because something yang we cannot justify. Okay? It must be something that can be justified secara engineering. Okay? So that is the main purpose. Not so much on the accuracy of your design work, tetapi lebih kepada fundamentally lebih kepada the justification of your proposal ataupun your design solutions dan sebagainya. Yeah. So that is basically IDP lah. Yeah. That is basically IDP. Okay. Moving on daripada sini, the chance to develop a design project, okay. And ini semua nanti you go through lah. Contoh-contoh, this is the topics related kepada IDP 1. It is a two credit subject. And this would be on IDP 2. Okay. This will be the topics in IDP 2. And these are the poster punya contents. And yang ini jangan tengok lah. Because this is for semester 2, 21-22. Betul ke semester 2? Okay. Not 16-27. Bukanlah kan. This is semester 2021-2022, tapi bukan yang ini different. Nantilah saya the one that you need to refer to is this, yang ini, timeline-nya ini. Yang ini. 12/5 and on the 30th of June. This is your timeline. Not the timeline yang tadi tu. Not this timeline. This timeline is lain. This is from different semester. And then evaluation. Okay, so evaluation basically we will provide ataupun we will evaluate 10% from the poster presentation. Group meaning everyone will share the same marks. Final report 60%. Again, this is a group marks, markah yang sama. And interview session will be on an individual basis, 30%. Okay, so weightage dia very much on the final report. So you need to start early so that you can come up with a proper report for all the topics. Ada earthwork report, ada sewer, ada water supply report yang complete, yang perfect, okay? Indicating your design assumptions, your design output, your drawings, your calculation, everything. Dalam ni yang complete, so that you will have the maximum marks as possible in your group marks for your final report. And the same thing goes kepada poster. Okay? So the total of this 70%, try to achieve the maximum marks. And then finally is your interview session. Di sini. Word of advice, particularly yang di sini. Okay? Please make sure that you contribute to the group throughout the whole semester. I know it's quite difficult being online dan sebagainya. Okay? It's much more easier face-to-face, where kalau face-to-face, every week you will be coming to the IDP studio 2 kali. Twice a week. You will meet as a group and that facilitates you punya work. Tapi in in our time yang sekarang ni, which is virtual punya meeting, okay, please walaupun it is online, you don't have the facility ataupun you don't have the chance to meet face to face with your group members, tapi please get your communication always, okay, please keep your communication tu between group members tu at maybe once a week you meet secara macam ni, sama ada guna Google Meet ataupun Webex pun boleh, ataupun guna Zoom, and that is where maybe once a week you discuss the problems, distribute the workload, set your targets dan sebagainya. Okay? So no group members should be passengers, meaning janganlah ada group members that are listed in the group but not contributing anything, zero contribution. Okay? Zero contribution. If there are group members that are not contributing anything, by week number 5, by week number 6, by week number 7, your meeting pun tak attend, okay? No response, contact pun tak dapat, then please inform me. I will try to get in touch with the group, with that particular member, and I will try to assess apa masalah dia. Okay? If there are passengers in the team, please inform me early. Jangan inform at the minggu 13, minggu 14. Dah tak boleh buat apa dah tu. Please inform me early, maybe week number 6, week number 7, somewhere at mid-semester, supaya I will try to get in touch with the students and apa nama try to understand apa masalah dia, and what is the reason that he or she is not contributing kepada group, and we will also we will also distribute peer reviews somewhere at maybe the third quarter of the semester, so that by the third quarter ni, mana contribution, kalau masih lagi tak ada contribution, zero contribution, then this will affect your marks. Okay, group members yang all the other 9 group members kata evaluation dia, this particular group member is not contributing anything, then bermakna most probably dia akan fail lah, based on the peer review. So please jangan ada passengers, please let there be no passengers in your IDP team. Remember, you will be in the same team dalam IDP 2 nanti. So put your effort in IDP 1, and so that everybody will be benefit from each other, and you will carry that momentum. Kalau dapat A in IDP 1, you will carry the same momentum kepada IDP 2, like what I have briefed in IDP 2. Bila saya tanya in IDP 2, would you want me to form new groups, or would you prefer to have the same groups in IDP 1? Semua kata they would want to have the same group, because they have worked together, they have the momentum together, they know each other, even though it's online punya online punya condition, but they want the same group members to be in IDP 2, meaning they put their trust into each group member. They have achieved A in IDP 1, and they want to achieve the same A in IDP 2 with the same group members. So this is part of your training juga lah, part of training. So again, I remind, jangan ada passengers in your team. Alright, I think I've gone through about 1 hour, more than 1 hour, about 1 hour 15 minutes dalam kita punya discussion brief ni. Any questions so far? Ada apa-apa soalan berkaitan IDP 1? You will be starting your IDP 2 next week. So, satu lagi I would like to voice out ataupun mention. Okay, I have one group in which saya dengan all the class representatives section 1 sampai all the 8 sections is in one group, WhatsApp group. Okay, and then what I would advise is that next week, contohnya next week, for section number 2 dengan section number 3, you have your earthwork on Sunday next week. So your group representative, please get in touch dengan Dr. Musyari. Kalau boleh before Sunday lah. Maybe Friday ke Saturday ke. Get in touch with Dr. Musyari. WhatsApp pada Dr. Musyari. Sir, for our class next week, what platform is Dr. Musyari using? Are you using the Webex ke ataupun Zoom ke ataupun Google Meet ke? And Dr. Mus, can you please share the link with us, the group representative, supaya the group can then share the link dengan all the other students dalam section 2 and section 3. So you need to get the link before each lecture, before earthwork, before estimating, before water rat punya lecture, dan before erosion and ECP ni apa? Erosion and sedimentation. ESCP sebenarnya. ESCP. Saya tertinggal S. Ada juga. Yang ni ada ESCP. Yang ini tak ada. Ini ada ESCP. Okay. So before lecture, group representative, please get in touch with the lecturers. You know the lecturers, okay, di sini, and request the lecture link ataupun the meeting link. Sama ada menggunakan Webex atau Zoom ataupun Google Meet, whatever yang pensyarah yang prefer to use. Get the link, and once you get the link, share the link with all the group members in your section. And then selepas pada lecture, and maybe after week number 3, okay, after week number 3, then form smaller WhatsApp group. Now you form WhatsApp group, katakan Earthwork. You form satu WhatsApp group where all the groups with group members doing Earthwork ni, forming one WhatsApp group and inviting Dr. Mushairi into the group. So Dr. Mushairi will then monitor, supervise, advise on Earthwork sahaja throughout the whole semester. That will come maybe after week number 3. Then you form smaller groups. Satu group untuk Earthwork, satu group untuk ESCP, satu group untuk water supply, and so on. And each yang smaller group ni comprises of all members from all the groups in section 2 that are doing the same thing, water supply. Katakan section 2 ada 4 group, let's say lah, ada 4 groups. So bermakna each group ni ada 2 pelajar doing water supply. So form satu WhatsApp group with 8 members, okay, coming 2 members each from all the different groups in section 2, plus the lecturer, which is Dr. Zainab, water supply. Include Dr. Zainab dalam group tersebut, supaya from there, whatever information Dr. Zainab wants to relay regarding water supply sahaja, water reticulation, then it will be a direct communication. Whatever briefing yang Dr. Zainab nak tambah, additional briefing, then it will be direct cuma pada water reticulation group sahaja. Okay? Whatever discussion, whatever information, and then monitoring dan juga supervising, Dr. Zainab will just concentrate kepada water reticulation group sahaja. That will come later on. So my advice is form smaller groups nanti, minggu ketiga katakan. We know kita ada 4 different topics. So from these 4 topics, you will then assign students ataupun group members for each topic. But yang ini hanya boleh dibuat selepas ada grouping sahaja. Once I have the grouping, I will set the grouping. Then you can form smaller groups. Okay? Alright, that will be, I think, my last my last punya information that I would like to share. Anyone with any other information that you would like to share? Ataupun comments, ataupun questions, soalan from anyone? Okay? Okay, tak ada soalan? I've covered the evaluation, the overall presentation, apa sebagainya lah. Grouping will come later on nanti, maybe week number 2. InsyaAllah by week number 2 we will release the grouping. Then once you have the grouping, then a lot of work can be done. Pembagian kerja, distribution of work dan sebagainya. Yeah. Alright, tak ada soalan. Alright, if there are no questions, then we have about berapa participant ni? Sini. Altogether about 80 participants. Okay, coming from these 2 sections. Maybe ada some participants from different section pun tak apa, it's okay. Okay, it's just a briefing, a general briefing sebelum bermulanya IDP next week. So please, group leaders, don't forget to get in touch with your relative ataupun respective lecturers before the start of lectures to share the lecture link, and then once you get that, share that with all the other group ataupun with all your members in that section. Yeah. Okay, kalau tak ada, I think I leave the close the meeting for today. Yeah, and hope you have a good weekend over this weekend. Yeah? Thursday, we are now Thursday, so enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Yeah? Stay negative. Stay negative ni, mana in terms of COVID ni, jangan positif lah, negatif. Selalu kita kata be positive. Tapi in the sense of COVID, be negative. Stay negative terhadap COVID. Right. So with that, I think I end my session. Have a good day. Assalamualaikum and good day, everyone. Yeah.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.